Hello everyone, my name is Jenny. I'm your IELTS tutor. In this video, I'll be sharing the sample answers that I have made for this IELTS speaking part 2 topic, and the title is Describe a home that you visited but did not want to live in. I've prepared 2 sample answers for this topic, and I've also prepared the part 3 sample answer. So I hope that I can be of great help to you in your IELTS preparation, especially for those who are going to take the IELTS exam for the first time. So let us begin. Please read with me and do some shadowing. By the way, before we read the sample answer, this is the complete topic. Describe a home that you visited but did not want to live in, where it is, what it's like, why you visited it, and why you would not like to live there. So we have 4 suggestions here, or 4 bullet points. Remember, you don't really need to answer these bullet points one by one or in order. In case you miss one question here, you will not get a deduction in your point. These are just like suggestions so that you can speak continuously. Okay? But of course, if you can answer them one by one, of course that would help because it will lead you to answer the next questions. So let us begin. This is the first sample answer. Well, out of all the houses that I visited that I didn't want to live in, my uncle's house takes the cake. To tell you more about it, it's located in the middle of the city. It's very accessible because the subway station and bus terminals are just a stone's throw away. My uncle's house is a 4-bedroom house, and it has a modern design. It's very elegant and spacious, and the furniture looks so classy. If my memory serves me right, the first time I visited my uncle's house, I was so impressed and I felt a bit jealous because I wanted to live in a beautiful house as well. I was in high school during that time. However, as I grew older, I realized that I don't want to live there anymore, and I have many reasons why. First off, there are many skyscrapers and very few trees. I think it's not suitable for my kids, since I want to bring them to a public garden once in a while. I think my uncle's house is only suitable for adults who don't have kids. Secondly, the neighborhood is very busy since there are many cars passing by. I think it's not child-friendly at all, because kids might get into accidents. Finally, the cost of my uncle's house costs an arm and a leg. It's extremely expensive. I think I'm satisfied with my house already. Although it's not too big, I think my apartment is safe and my neighborhood is quite livable. I guess that's all I can say. Thanks for listening. Okay, so this is the sample answer. Let's review the words that I have emphasized here. The words that I've put in bold. Well, here with regard to the introduction, instead of introducing the topic, I'd like to talk about. That kind of introduction is quite common, right? And that's very simple. Try to make your introduction more complex. Like instead of saying, I'd like to talk about, you can say, out of all the houses. Now this one takes the cake. This is an idiomatic expression, okay? Which means something that is remarkable. And you can use this in any kind of topic. For example, out of all the celebrities that I really admire, I think Brad Pitt takes the cake. Out of all the countries that I want to visit someday, I think Japan takes the cake. Okay? So you can use this kind of introduction. Alright? Now, when you want to give more details, you can use this one to tell you more about it. Now, are just a stone's throw away, this is also another idiomatic expression, which means very close. So instead of saying it's very close, it's very near, you can say it's just a stone's throw away. Okay? Now, if you watch my previous videos, I'm very particular when it comes to using idioms because idiomatic vocabulary or idiomatic expressions are one of the technical requirements for you to get 7 and above in IELTS speaking. Now, you want to use words that are related to the topic as well, or topic-related words. So since we're talking about a house, you can use this expression. It's a 4-bedroom house. It's a 3-bedroom house. Okay? It's very elegant. Instead of saying nice, you can say it's very elegant. The furniture looks so classy. Okay? Now, if you're talking about the past, you can use this expression. If my memory serves me right. Even if you clearly remember it, I highly recommend that you use this expression. Because after all, the IELTS examiner will not verify it. They will not ask you, are you sure you can't really remember it? No, they won't do that, right? So try to use this just to impress the examiner and just for you to get a good score in vocabulary. Okay? As I grew older, so this is a good expression as well. Now, you want to use discourse markers as well. So discourse markers are one of the technical requirements in getting 7 and above. Alright, so what are discourse markers? Firstly, secondly, finally. But instead of saying firstly, you can use first off. Okay? Skyscrapers, this is a topic related word. Alright? And then instead of saying sometimes, you can say once in a while. I'd like to bring my children to the public garden sometimes. So sometimes it's quite common. You can use once in a while. Okay? So this is another discourse markers. Secondly. Alright? It's not child friendly at all. Alright? And then here, cost an arm and a leg. This is another idiomatic expression which means very expensive. Okay, so try to use this expression as well. Right? So my neighborhood is quite livable. Another topic related words. Now let us continue to the second question. Please read with me, do some shadowing. Let's begin. Well, out of all the places that I've visited before, the house which was located in my area takes the cake. That house is just a stone's throw away from my parents' house. It's very near. In fact, I can go there in 10 minutes on foot. It is a 3-bedroom house and is located on the 16th floor. However, the house was messy because the carpet was so dirty, the wallpapers looked so old as well. As far as I can remember, I went to that unit last year since I was planning to move to a new house. I guess it was summer and the weather was scorching hot. When I went there, I saw the interiors of the house. I did not like it at all, and there are several reasons why. First off, it was not well ventilated. It was not well maintained, To be more precise, the kitchen floor looked so old. It was supposed to be white, but the colors of the tiles turned brown already. Since I'm very particular with cleanliness, I decided not to live there. In addition, it was not well ventilated because the windows were too small, and there's another tall building which is blocking the view. Since the weather was sunny, I felt so uncomfortable because the ventilation was terrible. Last but not least, I realized that I needed to spend a lot of money on the repair. I think living in that house is not cost efficient at all. In a nutshell, that house was so unpleasant and I didn't want to live there. Luckily, I found a much better apartment. And I guess that would be all. Thanks for listening. So the words here that I've put in bold, these are words that you can use. Okay? So stone's throw away, I've explained it to you already. So I can go there in 10 minutes by foot if you want to emphasize something that's really near. Okay, here, 3-bedroom house. As far as I can remember, when you're talking about the past, scorching hot, this is a good expression. Interiors of the house, here. So this is a topic related word. First off, this is a discourse markers, well maintained. There, to be more precise when you want to give more details. I am very particular with cleanliness. This is a good expression. It's not well ventilated. So this is a topic related word. Blocking the view. The ventilation was terrible. Okay, last but not least, instead of saying finally, in a nutshell, instead of saying in conclusion, in conclusion is quite formal. So you can use this one in a nutshell. It's completely okay to use informal expressions in IELTS speaking. In fact, idioms are informal, idiomatic expressions. Now let us continue with part 3. So please do some shadowing, okay? Do people in your country like to visit others' homes? I guess it varies from person to person. Some Koreans value their privacy and they don't want other people to see their houses. They prefer meeting outside, like in coffee shops or movie theaters. However, some Koreans enjoy visiting their friends' homes, and it is mainly because they like to have a conversation with their friends. By the way, my students are Korean, so that's why the subject here is Korean. So you can change this. Some Indian, some Bangladeshi, some Nepali. Okay? Now, here, the next sample answer. Well, I think it depends on the situation. For people who have families, they enjoy visiting their friend's house and have a drink. They would usually have a small gathering, and it's normal for them to pay a visit to their friends. However, for those who live alone, most of the time, they value their privacy and they don't want to show their house to others. That's why they prefer meeting outside. So you got two ideas here. There are people who don't like to visit other people's homes, but there are people who enjoy visiting other people's home. And in my experience, it's more common among married people because I have students who are married. Now, let us continue. The next question, what do people in your country do when they visit other people's homes? Well, I don't know about other people, but in my case, when I go to my friend's house, we usually watch movies or dramas. We also order food and we eat together. Apart from that, we also play card games or we sometimes have a drink. It actually varies. So there's no right or wrong answer in IELTS. As long as you give 3 or 4 sentences in part 3. Okay? The longer your answer is, the better. Do not give 2 sentences. Okay? Now let's continue. What kind of place do people in your country like to live in? Well, I guess it depends on people's age. For adults, they usually live in apartments in cities that are close to their workplace. Most of the time, they value accessibility because they... Alright. Here, most of the time they value accessibility because they want to avoid traffic jams. When it comes to the elders, they prefer living in the countryside because they prefer a laid-back lifestyle. For well-off individuals, they usually live in expensive villas. So here I classified according to people's age. So this is one way to make a long sentence or long answers, I mean. So try to group your ideas. If the question is asking about people, try to divide it. Young people, old people, rich people, poor people. Okay? Now let us continue. What's the difference between homes in the city and in the countryside? Well, houses in the countryside tend to have more outdoor spaces. That's why they can have small gardens sometimes. Plus, their houses are just a stone's throw away from nature, like a beach or a mountain. In terms of city houses, it can be found in tall buildings because the land areas in cities are smaller, so people have to live in skyscrapers. However, it's more secure because there are security guards 24/7. So I got many ideas here, right? So I hope that these ideas and these expressions or vocabulary will be of great use to you. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you have any suggestions or comment, please feel free to comment below. Thank you. Bye.